Welcome, my beautiful souls. Today we're going to do a special reading. It's going to be a love reading. And what I'm looking at in this reading is you and them. So, what I mean by that is this could be for twin flames, soulmates, karmic connections. It's just who you're interested in and what they're doing, where they're at, what's going on. So, trying to get real answers for you, but it could also be the other way around. Remember that. Someone may be wondering what you're doing, what you're thinking. So, the reason I'm saying that is we're going to have a conversation, and I'm going to use the light seers for you, and I'm going to use the tarot of dreams for them. I'm not even going to say male or female because this is for all signs, um, men, women, it doesn't matter. It's just if you are interested in someone, or I should say, even if you are looking for love, let's say, or ready to, I hate to say looking for love, let's say that you're ready to invite it into your life. So, in that case, I want you to look at this reading as the potential of who is coming in. So, my guides know the type of reading that I want to do. And for those who are new, welcome. First of all, welcome to everyone. Um, I do read through my spirit guides who I know connect to your guides. I know that. And the reason why I know that is because my guides have told me. What they tell me is just do the reading and then let it go and let it be. And it will find whoever it needs to find. And that I trust in. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and open up the reading. So, again, I'm going to use the light seers for you. Um, we'll use the gilded tarot for them. And then I'm going to use the crystal vision to clarify and go deeper. So we're going to go back and forth between the decks. We'll start with let's start with them. And I do want to give them a quick shuffle. Everything is pre-shuffled, just so you know that. Um, but I do like to give a shuffle with you here. And I did not like that shuffle, so let's do it again. Okay. Let's give them a cut. And I am going to shuffle for your cards. I was going to take them off the top, but I feel like shuffling today. I feel like shuffling is the right way to go. So let's go ahead and see what's going on with them. Wow. Wow. Nine of Pentacles. Let me put the lid down. Forgot. The Nine of Pentacles. I like that. That tells me someone is chances are, is independent, is single. um, but this is really, I have a feeling someone may own a business. And I'm saying that because out with it came the Ten of Cups. Now, because I'm not looking at restrictive type of love, I feel like what this is saying is this person may work out of their home and they may do something that they truly love. They could certainly have children. I don't feel like that would be an issue though, because you may also, or this may be someone that someone may start a family with. But as we sit right now, I feel like this person I feel like they're doing pretty well. I feel like they're doing pretty well with their money. And I feel like they love what they do, but I also feel they're a hard worker. Now, this is a card of Virgo, so could be. But you know how I feel about giving signs. And the reason why I don't love giving signs in a reading, I mean, I'll give you the sign, but I don't want you just to focus on, okay, well, she said it's a Virgo. So, and then a Taurus walks in the door, and that's your perfect person, but you're like, nope, you're not a Virgo. So just keep that in mind. So I feel like this person is feeling pretty good right now. And I like the 9 going into the 10, material harvest and the house of harmony. So I don't feel like there's issues. I do feel like they're single. Um, and I just feel, I don't know, it kind of feels like this person, well, they definitely feel like they have their shit together. Doesn't mean they always have, but I feel like they have found, it feels like their true calling. Because I feel like not only does their pocketbook look good or their wallet look good, but I feel like they also have inner harmony. Okay. Um, put these back up here. Let's bring in the light seers now. Give them a shuffle. And this is a different way. Um, I mean, I've done this type of readings before, but I don't know if I've done it on YouTube or not. So I just call it the conversation. All right, so now let's look at you. I like how you're getting 2 cards each. All right, we have the King of Wands, um, Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, and then interesting, we have a lot of fire over here. We have the Knight of Wands. So a lot of fire. And it's interesting because I don't feel like the King of Wands is here. I feel like it's more the energy of the King of Wands. So let me explain. I feel like this is someone who definitely takes chances in their life. I feel like this is definitely calling for like that inner child type energy, that the type of energy where you allow yourself to go on an adventure. I have a feeling you're about to go on an adventure. And this feels like the perfect energy for it. There's no fear. Now, I'm not going to say, that there won't be like a little bit of that human fear, but I feel like that's more butterfly type energy. I feel like this is someone over here who is just going with the flow. That's what I really feel. You're just going with the flow. And it's like I'm saying to divine, you know, I'm just going to go with the flow. I'm going to allow myself to have fun, to experiment, to take chances. It's like you're bringing your younger self back to the forefront, and I like it. I like both energies. So this person over here, I feel, is very secure, stable. I do feel also loving. I'm not going to say, let's put it this way, at this point. Now, what they had to do to get to this point can be a different story. But I feel like we are talking about now. Okay, let's keep going. Just put those over there. And we're just kind of letting it open up, letting the reading open up to whatever it wants to be. I feel like this person would definitely invite love into their life. And I'm talking over here. Um, and I feel like they would be a great partner. We have the strength card, card of Leo. That definitely speaks about the things that I've overcome, the temptations that used to call my name. I feel like they don't call this person's name anymore. It definitely feels, and it does kind of bring the human factor back in, right? Because it almost looked too good to be true, but it's not too good to be true. But I feel like the strength card is just saying that this person had to overcome certain things within themselves. The strength card is really about self. It's that inner demon within. But it's really about finding balance within. You have the infinity never above the head, as above, so below. Who knows? We'll see if we get soulmates, but look at this. I already felt this. The the nine of cups, and I already felt that energy. How interesting. You had 8, 9, 10, and now we have double nines, and the best nines we could possibly get. Here is that inner harmony that I already felt this person had. But, something is making me wonder, like, did this person, did they potentially have a drinking problem? Um, or, I don't know, like, I don't want to say like an alcoholic, but it could be someone I feel, you know what I feel? I feel that this person has analyzed their life, and it makes sense with the Virgo card being there. I do feel like they analyzed their life, their younger life. And I do feel like they partied, they had fun, and didn't we all? I mean, maybe not all, um, but I do feel like there was a time period that came where they realized they had to start making some changes. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like this is strange, but I feel like my friends all went off to college, but I didn't. I didn't go to college. Yet I do feel I don't feel like this person needed it. I feel like this person, they may have a business and it may be some type of a trade because I definitely feel they turned their life around. You know what they did? They gave themselves a new beginning. And it could only have come through this inner reflection. Like, I feel proud of this person. Okay. I love how the cards are coming out two by two. Justice, card of Libra. And then the Page of Cups. Well, that is your inner child. But I have to tell you, this is a love reading. And when I see the Page of Cups, really any page, it can mean a few different things. It can talk about your younger energy, your inner child energy. And I do feel like that may be part of it. But I also feel a page can be the energy that's in the atmosphere. And that would make sense with the type of reading we're doing, that love is in the atmosphere. Interesting. I feel like your higher self is leading you here, is leading you to, let's just say, what's ever next. And then we have justice. So, maybe this king, I don't know, maybe this is someone old that you cut ties with. There is this sense of you feeling free and light, but it may have come after justice. Justice is about using that sword, cutting ties, just whatever is no longer serving you, whether it be a relationship, energy, my thoughts. Justice is about making you whole again. And I have to be honest, I feel like probably for the majority, you've already used this sword. And it's interesting because here we have the same energy of the higher self talking to the earthly self. So, boy, do I feel like our higher self is guiding us here. I'm going to slide these up. Okay. All right, let's keep going. It's interesting because both of you have a similar image. I may I may take cards in between to see what connects the two of you. I think I will. But anyways, what I was going to say is you both have images, um, or energy, let's say, where something had to be looked at. Like a change had to be made to bring you to a certain state. Here, to bring them to, well, their true abilities. Like they're over here creating true success for themselves. And it's interesting because now they have two nines. So I have no doubt that they're single. And over here, some of you may have just recently become single. And I'm saying that because in this Knight of Wands energy, even though the Knight of Wands is normally energy that's coming in, passion, desire, and that is probably part of it. But I also feel it's you. And I feel like it's you, like, ready to, I feel like you're open for an adventure, whatever it may be, whatever it may be. Hello, Star. Your hopes, your dreams, your wishes, it's landing on their side. So they're ready to manifest. It's interesting because I feel like this person, as it relates to their money, I feel like they would say, I'm all set there. I'm doing good there. My wish is not more money, more success. That I know I can create on my own. I have a feeling this is now, you know, it's interesting because I feel like they want someone in that home with them. It's great to have all this success, but to have it alone doesn't make it quite as rewarding. So here we go. Here are those intentions now being put out into the universe. We have the Three of Pentacles. So they're looking for someone like them. And when I say like them, I don't mean exactly like them. But I feel like, number one, for some reason in my mind, I'm seeing like a lineup and I'm asking questions to like different suitors, potential suitors. You know, how is your financial status? What do you do for fun? Interesting. Now, I don't really think that's going on, but I do feel this sense of, well, I think it's important to them that who comes into their life, I'm not going to say doesn't have any issues, but I don't feel like they're willing to take on, let's say you're going through a divorce or something like that. I feel like this person kind of wants to live drama free. Like the least amount of drama, the better. So they're looking for someone who I feel like, again, is a lot like them, but I mean that has like goals. You know what I mean? Like, isn't someone who is looking for someone to come in and like take care of them financially. I feel like they want someone, if I could ask for anything, this may be what I'd ask for, that someone come in and already have their shit together. Now, it's great to ask that, but here's the thing, whether when this connects, you know, we have our shit together or not. I don't feel like that is really going to matter. I just feel like those are their intentions. Now, I have to tell you what I love about the Three of Pentacles in a love reading is it really speaks about each's individuality and how each will appreciate each other for exactly who they are. So even though I feel like this person is putting out certain intentions, and there's nothing wrong with that, I still feel like you are the answer. All right, so let's keep going. Look at that. I was just thinking to myself, but do you hear their call? And then we get the Two of Wands. Wow. Two Wands is about stepping on a new path. Interesting that it's following justice. So I know some of you use that sword, but I feel like it definitely served you. Doesn't mean it was easy, but I feel like really the majority of you are coming back to yourselves again. It just means that like you're putting yourself in the forefront. Two Wands is a path of adventure, excitement. Um, it's not fear-based. And what's interesting is when you look at this image, you see one wand against the wall. She's holding another wand. So I do feel for some of you, this king has been cut because I don't feel like his wand in her mind is coming along for the journey. I love how she's looking at the window. She has the globe, a map. She has an adventurous spirit. I'm sure it did not come overnight, but I do feel like it's like your true self. Even the way the cards are falling, the synchronicities. So it's interesting because we have the star over here. This is about manifesting my hopes, my dreams, my wishes. I don't feel like they're trying to manifest more money. I feel like they've got that taken care of. I feel like, they do have inner harmony. And it is because they put a lot of work into their lives. You know what I mean? Like they made some real choices versus like other people to go this direction and not that direction. And it definitely had worked for them. So the star, my intentions, matched by the Two of Wands, it's like there you are, excited for what's next, but you're not even sure what it is yet. I feel like you're feeling that call. You're feeling that call. Four of Cups. So, discontentment, boredom in one's emotional life. Four of Cups ask you to use your spiritual discernment because in the Four of Cups, a cup is coming in. You can't see it in this image, but usually you'll see like a cup coming from above, like from the hand of divine. And it just wants you to use your spiritual discernment. But the Two of Wands right before that, where do I feel you're going? I feel like you are on a journey of emotional fulfillment. Some of you just don't know it yet. You know, the Two of Wands reminds me of a lot of like the Fool, the willingness to step upon the path. And in the Two of Wands, again, it's not like I really even have a set place or, I just want adventure. I'm going to go for the adventure. You're feeling a call within. And this cup that comes in the Four of Cups, well, we know whose cup it is. It's like a universal ceremony. Okay, let's keep going. The Three of Cups, rejoice in celebration. The Seven of Wands and the Ten of Pentacles. Wow. I feel like, I don't know why I'm doing it this way. Because I feel like this person's wish is being answered. And the Three of Cups is the energy of joy. And it's kind of beautiful that we open with the Nine of Pentacles, right? Which is about material harvest, successful self employment. And I have a feeling this person does something for a living where they help others. Maybe they help others overcome the exact things that they had to overcome. But what I really noticed is we went from the Nine of Pentacles to the Ten of Pentacles, mirrored by the Three of Cups. Rejoice in celebration. So there's a reason. Now, I know this seems quick and simple, like that quickly they get together. Well, how long did it take this person to reach this energy? And how long did it take this person to maybe cut certain ties and get back to themselves? That's really where the time is. I hope that makes sense. I'm not surprised this person on the left, who has the star, that these hopes and wishes are being answered pretty quickly. Why? Because I feel like they've done just about everything they could do. And what do I mean by that? I mean, they're doing well in their life, but it's far beyond that. It's their energy. It's who they are now and who they know they are. You know, we can't forget that this person did have to overcome some things within themselves, but they did. They did. And I feel like congratulations because I have a feeling it wasn't easy. All right, we have the Seven of Cups. So it is like, here comes that cup. And now you are making the decision. Yay or nay? Should I or shouldn't I? You know, it's interesting because I get this feeling that some of you are just starting on this new path. You know, you use that sword of justice for whatever it needed. Keeping in mind also that this, you know, and I know I keep talking about it, but this being that final ninth year of a 9 year cycle, and literally, what do we want the next 9 years to look like? Look at the nines this person is receiving. So I feel like they're pretty clear on that. This feels like someone who's pretty spiritual also. We have the Page of Swords. Hmm. Could be a phone call. Some of you, you may already know who this person is. Could be someone from back in the day. And I'm saying that because we have two pages, Page of Cups and the Page of Swords. Um, and then look at this, we have the Fool. And so it begins. And so it begins. I know that seemed too simple, right? Interesting how both of them have a seven in the last three cards. Two totally different things, but I'm just noticing that. Let's just say for some of you, I do feel like there's a chance you may know this person. And there could have been a lot of time that passed because I feel like if this is someone you knew, listen, it doesn't even have to mean you were in love with them or you even had a relationship with them. It could be an old friend. You may be one of those who went off to college and they decided not to. That could be a hint for someone. But listen, with the full showing, no matter whether I know this person or I don't know this person, this is starting at the beginning. This is fresh, new, right? So even if I know them, I have to get to know them again. Because I feel like if that is the case, it definitely feels like time has passed. And it's interesting because I feel like over here, I've been reflecting upon my life, deciding, you know, I feel like what I really realized is I'm not living my true authentic life. I'm not living a life where I would call it joyful. I may be living someone else's life. But just those realizations alone, or even asking yourself those questions, I feel like is what makes you bold enough to then use that sword. And again, that sword is going to be different things for different people. For some of you, I feel like Goodbye King. Can't help that. But listen, whatever it is you use that sword for, what it does is it brings you back to your old self, your unencumbered self, the risk taker in you. All right, let's see who's on the bottom of the decks. Oh, wow. Five of Cups. Someone that I used to know. Five of Cups talks about where your focus is at. It's really what it wants you to do because it's a five, so it is asking for change. Five of Cups is when I'm focusing on the cups I have lost. Now, it's not that you can't think about the cups you've lost. It's just meaning like if I stay too long in this energy, it can become woe is me. And that's not going to help you. Because the truth of the matter is when this person changes their focus, so does their life. Because there's two cups that are behind this cup or behind this person. And to me, that represents soulmates. Well, I wouldn't be doing this reading if it wasn't soulmates to start with, to be honest. Okay? And that's for this side. Let's look over at the other side, the Five of Wands. Interesting. You both have fives. How interesting. You both have fives. What's under that Five of Cups? The Strength card. The Strength card. The Queen of Wands, where we have the King of Wands over here. Now, I don't feel like this is the King of Wands. Don't get me wrong. But it's definitely showing us like this person has dealt with a lot of drama. And there's no way they're taking it anymore. I feel like that's yesterday's news. And then here, this is again focusing on, what I have lost. And it's not, you know, I can't leave off the table, which I know many of you wish I would, that past love can come back because that is my life. So to leave that off the table, then I'm not being real. You know what I mean? But it doesn't always mean that. And if it does mean that, it's still the Fool's energy. This could have happened years ago. So it's like we have to get to know each other again, right? But through the Fool's energy. I don't feel like either one have any interest in reliving the past, not their near past. I really feel like what both would say is I've come too far to only go back again. All right. Number one, I love the synchronicities. All right, let's bring out the crystal vision. And first thing I'm going to do is go right between, and I want to connect them. I want to see what connects them. Let's give them a cut. All right. We're moving into that magical energy of the magician next year. So the star card is so important, right? My thoughts. I mean, my hopes, my dreams, my wishes, but wanting to actively manifest them, and what do I need to do to manifest them? I feel like number one, be real. What's got to go? What stays? How do you want your life to look? Like so much rests on your shoulders. It's free will. We have the hermit, the wise old teacher, and we're in the year of the hermit. Also, card of Virgo, double Virgo. I feel like it's interesting because we have the Fool on the ledge, right? About to take a leap of faith. And we have the Hermit also on a ledge. But this is movement with spiritual wisdom. Well, this means when you see the Hermit facing outwardly, Like they've already gone through the dark night of the soul. They've already gone through something difficult, but have overcome it. Not only have they overcome it, but they're stronger because of it. And in this beacon of light, it's sharing that. It's sharing it with the universe, with the people around you. It's just natural. You can choose, like, this person could certainly have a spiritual based business. Um, but yet I feel the same for you. So it kind of feels like two people who really have gone through different things in life, but both needing to kind of reclaim themselves, reclaim their power, go by the beat of their own drum. And over here, I feel like that was really important. I may have like lived my life according to someone else's standards, but now I'm living life by the way I see it. And I feel like the only way that happened was through that sort of justice. Okay, let's keep going. But I also love how this person, like the hermit, is shining the beacon of light over here. You know, who knows what they were like when they were younger? Because there are things that they had to overcome. There are issues that they had within that they had to deal with, but they did. And it may have taken time. Look at this. The Nine of Cups again. I mean, the Nine of Pentacles again. Look at that, double Virgo, triple Virgo. Some of you, I can't help but feel there must be a Virgo. I am a Virgo. Wow. All of a sudden I get this feeling of collaborating. I also feel like, now I know this is not going to be for everyone, but I feel like there's a few of you who may own your own business. Interesting. And it also may be a spiritually based business. The Knight of Swords. First of all, look at this knight. He's on a white horse. Truth. Pure. Ring, ring. You know, also, if you look at this horse, this person on the horse, they're above the darkness. They're above the darkness. So I feel like this is telling you there's nothing to fear here. The Six of Pentacles, compassion, empathy. It's that fine art of give and take. Hmm. I feel like this is a lesson that was also learned. And it could have been on both sides, but I definitely feel over here. Because I get this sense that someone didn't fulfill you in the way that you deserve to be fulfilled. And I'm saying it that way because I feel like there's a lot of different reasons for different people, but ultimately there wasn't fulfillment. Like we do have to learn that art of give and take and know that we deserve to receive as well as give. You have such compassion and energy in this reading, but on both sides, you have a lot of spiritual energy and on both sides. It's interesting when I said that I feel like this person is putting their intentions out there, which is important. And they want someone who is more like them. Well, that's exactly what they're finding. The two of you are more alike than different. It doesn't mean your lives were exactly the same. But let me say this. I have a feeling like as you were dealing with one thing, they were dealing with their thing. But you both dealt with it. That's the good news. You both dealt with it. You both seem to be free. Now, over here, it feels recent that you used that sword to cut ties. So that could still be a little fresh. But your mind is not thinking that way. Like your mind is over that king. Let's just put it that way. Like you're not thinking of returning to that energy. Matter of fact, it's showing me that you weren't happy there anyway. Probably for a period you were. But I truly feel over here, I lost myself. I lost who I was. I lived my life according to another's standards. And why? Well, that answer could come from anywhere, but I feel like it may come from your younger years, even growing up. But in a way, I don't want to focus on that because I feel like you should be congratulated. Now, not because, like if it was a marriage and you divorced, I'm not saying congratulations, you got a divorce. What I'm saying is you're reclaiming yourself, your right to live life according to your standards. Okay. All right. So there's not even a lot I want to clarify. Um, let's look at the star. I mean, I just feel like this person's dreams are being answered so quickly, right? Nine of Pentacles, independent, but loving what they do. They have inner harmony after a period of time when they probably didn't, but now they do. And now they're putting those intentions out there. It's almost like they know, like, I want to put my intentions out there in light energy and then be willing to follow, like, whatever signs come back to me. Well, it's being answered almost immediately because they go from the Nine of Pentacles to the Ten of Pentacles, the Nine of Cups, the Ten of Cups. But you have the Fool over here. So it feels to me like this is about, like, I feel like this person will be very clear, whether I know you or not, when I meet you. I feel like they're going to be very clear, like, that was an answered prayer. Whether they say that, I don't know. Maybe not right away, but I feel they feel that. All right, well, let's look at the star. Six of Wands, victory and success. So, victory over whatever. Well, I know what was wished for. I don't feel like they're wishing for more money. And then, interesting, we just got justice, and I was going to look at the Fool, and justice came in reverse. So I feel like what that is saying is you used that sword, and now justice, that part is leaving your life. Let's say the law. Give me another card on justice, please. Look how they're coming out in reverse. The Eight of Swords. You freed yourself. You freed yourself. This, my friends, is a self created prison. This is when I'm not trusting energy. I'm not trusting my intuition. This is when I'm fearful of change. But I need to ask myself why. It's self created, so the only person who can uncreate it is you. But look at this. And so you do. And what does this give you? Freedom. True freedom. And it tells me that you're also now listening to your intuition. You know, it's like using that sword of justice not only sets you free, but it sets your mind free, your heart free. Like, like your energy is just unencumbered now. Does that not feel like the perfect time to fall in love? It does. It definitely feels like the perfect time to live. And whatever comes your way, I feel like you're open to it. All right. I don't know. I really don't feel like there's anything else. So I'm just going to go across the whole reading and just ask for any other messages. Hello, Ace of Swords. So, number one, the Ace of Swords is my yes card. It also represents truth, communication, and look at the beautiful roses climbing up it. So, here it's representing love. Some of you may have just asked yourself a question. Is this my soulmate? And that would have answered it yes. Oh my gosh. Hello, Four of Wands. Marriage card. Commitment. True love. I love how this man is putting this woman on a horse. It's like he's putting on her pedestal. But I feel she would do the same for him. You know what I love about the Four of Wands? You know, and I guess you can't guarantee that every connection is going to work out or what have you. But because of the energy we're seeing, and because both energies seem free and clear, as much as they can be, you know, like over here, the Fool and the Two of Wands, an important component. And then we always have to have one bad egg, the Nine of Swords. That is worry. But literally, the meaning of this card is unnecessary worry. Now, I get it, right? Because remember how I said in the beginning that, like, the Two of Wands is not fear based, but it doesn't mean that natural fear won't rise. And I feel like this feels so good, it feels scary. So I feel like if fear arises, I don't feel like it's anything that will hold this back. Because again, the Nine of Swords is unnecessary. And I feel that it's only normal. And listen, I feel like if I have concerns, then I should express them. And I don't mean like I want to know immediately that you're the person I'm going to spend the rest of my life with. You don't know that, right? There's free will. But if you both are willing to focus on this love, then that's all you have to worry about. Because that's all it takes is your focus, your attention. And don't expect perfection because even the greatest lovers fight sometimes, but then make up. Hmm. So I'm not worried about the Nine of Swords, to be honest. I feel like, I just feel like it's kind of natural. And I almost feel like it wouldn't feel real if we didn't have a little of human emotions in it. You know what I mean? Because it feels like a very spiritual based reading. But then this brings us back into like the human emotions. So I don't know, guys. I love this reading. Um, I just loved it. You know, this person, like, I feel like it's not money I'm looking for. It's someone to share my life with. And over here, I don't even think I'm even thinking in that way. I'm just free. But you're hearing that calling. That's your intuition. And all you have to do is follow the signs. Trust your intuition. You know, it's like you will be at the right place at the right time, period. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Um, you know, sometimes when a reading just flows so easily, I feel like, is there something I'm missing? But listen, why can't love just be easy like this? And I feel like we have moved past what each side was dealing with because they've dealt with it. And we're now talking about current energy. And I love that we have the Hermit connecting the two of you. Number one, 2025. It's coming to a close soon. For some of you, you may find 2026 to be a year that you're either making a true commitment or potentially getting married. Okay, I'm going to let that be, guys. Um, I loved it, but I always love them. Thank you. I'm sitting here thinking, what am I going to title this? I don't even know. Conversations between two lovers who don't even know they're lovers yet. That might be the title. All right. I love you guys. Thank you. I'll see you next time at our table. Bye bye.